I've grown 2 different online businesses, one of them being a profitable YouTube channel, and the other being a consulting style business where I help business owners scale with YouTube ads. And both of these businesses have taught me a lot of some of the biggest mistakes that people make, especially scaling my latter business, AdOutreach, to over 8 figures a year. And in this video, I want to break down what some of those biggest mistakes are and how you can avoid them. Let's get started. The first biggest mistake that I see business owners make is focusing on the results instead of the journey. It's really important that you focus on playing your best game. One of the biggest traps that entrepreneurs fall into, especially when they see other people talking about having big months, hitting records, is looking at the scoreboard and taking and deriving your worth based on what your top line revenue is and what milestones you hit. The big problem with that is you're not focusing on the journey that's taking you from where you are to where you're looking to go. And if you don't focus on the journey, then you lose sight of why you started your business in the first place. Remember, different months are going to fluctuate. And if you're just focusing on the scoreboard, you're not focusing on the activities and the journey that's going to allow you to actually hit those milestones and hit those future goals. This is one of the big problems that you can get into, because if you're focused on the scoreboard, the minute that you see things aren't going right, then you're going to say, oh my God, what's going wrong? Instead of focusing on taking those consistent actions that you know will lead to results. Taking consistent, constant action, focusing on the journey and focusing on how you show up, not what the results are what's ultimately going to lead to long-term success. If you only look at the results, then you may see short-term gains, but you're going to miss the big picture, because the big picture is only made by taking that consistent action. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And if you want to win a marathon, you need to regulate yourself over time and focus on the journey, the entire journey to get to that destination, instead of just going as fast as you can right now. The second biggest mistake I see entrepreneurs make is failing to plan for constraints, both known and unknown. It is incredibly important to plan for constraints and to have that in the back of your head, because there's always going to be things that pop up. There's always going to be things that happen. So you need to build in margin and hedge. It is incredibly important that you hedge and build in margin, because things are going to happen, right? Not everything's going to work out perfectly. One of the things I like to tell my team is if you put something in motion and it works out perfectly every single time, then there's no need for businesses. There's no need for managers. There's no need for different people helping, because if you could do something once and have it be perfect forever, then everybody would just do that and set it up and be set for life. Here's the thing. In reality, things happen, things come up. And your success as a business and a business owner is going to be defined by how you face those challenges, but also how you prepare to build in margin so you can hit your goals anyways when those challenges arise. If you know that your average return on ad spend is a certain amount, let's say from YouTube ads, you may want to spend a little extra budget or budget a little bit of extra ad spend in order to ensure you hit your goals. Because maybe things fluctuate a little bit. Maybe it's not the ads, maybe those are working perfectly, but maybe your sales team, somebody might fall into a rut, or somebody might get sick, right? That's no fault of their own. They might be sick and not able to get on the calls or not able to bring in and enroll people. Maybe something happens with your product or fulfillment or inventory is damaged. There are all kinds of different things that can happen in your business, and it's important that you hedge and you build in margin so that if you have that plan in place and you know that you hit your goal anyways, that will allow you to succeed. Another quote that I like as well is, if you shoot for the stars, then the worst that happens is you land on the moon, right? You hedge, you plan, here's where I want to go. And then if you don't make it to that final destination you have hedged in, here's the alternative route that I want to take. The third biggest mistake I see entrepreneurs make is saying yes to everything. One of the biggest skills that you need to learn and you need to practice is the art of saying no. And trust me, this is something that actually was very challenging for me, because I love to say yes to things. I love to do new things. I love and I want to be able to do everything and every opportunity that's presented. But you as a business owner and as an entrepreneur need to learn what to say yes to and what to say no to. And it's really important that you know the return on investment of each decision, each activity. Now here's the thing, there's different returns on investment. There's obviously the monetary, and there's the team-based, the client-based, right? Having everything be in alignment. We talk about alignment being the key to success, right? So there's that element. But then also there's other things that you want to look at as well. Spending time with friends or family can also be incredibly important for yourself, your well-being, your happiness, and for the loved ones that you have in your life. So it's really important to look at what truly matters, both from a financial business perspective and also from a life perspective as well. And then weigh what probably doesn't matter as much or what can wait, right? What are the things that are going to have an impact, make you happier, and provide success, and prioritizing those in your life and business. The fourth biggest mistake that I see business owners make is not taking advantage of other people's expertise. It is incredibly important that if you're looking to do something and do something well and accomplish it in a short period of time, that you look at who has already done that. Now that might come internally, maybe there's somebody on your team that can do that, but there may also be a company you can work with. For instance, if you're looking to learn YouTube ads, obviously you can go and try and figure all that out on your own, or you can make the determination that an investment into a team that can train you may be the most valuable thing to do. Now, obviously that's something that we help people do with YouTube ads. You can see some of those links down there below, but we also practice what we preach as well. I know that personally, on the sales side, that's not my biggest strength. Marketing is my biggest strength with YouTube ads. And so when I look at the sales team, I've invested in over half a dozen different sales trainers and recruiters to come in and train my team in order to make us as impactful as possible. It's the exact same thing in other areas of business too, right? With operations, when we decided to move our entire team to HubSpot, right? We didn't just say, hey, we're gonna figure out this brand new CRM completely on our own. We looked for and researched the absolute best consultant in HubSpot and hired them to help make our transition as smooth as possible. That's something that we practice what we preach, but I highly recommend if you're looking to go into something new, instead of using that learning curve, right, and spending a lot of time, but also a lot of money and a lot of mistakes, what you can do is find the best person at that thing. Again, whether it's HubSpot, sales, marketing, YouTube ads, whatever it happens to be, finding the best person that can train you and your team to shortcut that process and make sure it can happen at the highest levels. So thank you so much for watching the video. And if you are looking to learn YouTube ads or build your own profitable YouTube channel, all those resources are down there below. Now let me know what you've seen as some of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs and business owners make. What are some of the biggest mistakes that you've made in the past? Trust me, I've made several of these mistakes before, and it's really important that you learn from those mistakes. We talk about that in the Marketer's Mindset video. We'll link that as well. I highly recommend watching that if you haven't already, because it talks about the value of learning from your mistakes, and the only true failure is the failure to learn. So be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell icon so that you get notified every time we have a new video, and take a look at those links down below for some additional trainings you can check out as well. And I'll see you on the next video.